What's up, Netrunners? Welcome to PeachHack. My name is Ben, and today I've got a special guest with me, Ross. What's up, Ross?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. I am so excited to finally bring to you guys this next series of games from the store championships at Giga-bites Cafe in Marietta, Georgia from January 24th, 2010. This was a fantastic tournament. We had, 47 people, I think, come?
It's 40, yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
47. It was a great turnout. And here we are in round one. And on the left, we have a lovely individual, Ross himself, playing as NBN Making News. So I'm happy to have you here to give your insight into this game.
Right.
And you're playing against Aaron on the right, who is playing as Gabriel Santiago. A nice, fun criminal identity. Both core identities here. Now, you and Aaron have a bit of a storied history.
Yeah, we've played a good number of times. It helps that I'm playing his corporation deck in this.
Oh,
game.
you are. So
Yeah.
this is in the Raven's Nest. He played Making News,
Right.
and he got second place, I believe, with this deck.
Right.
It's like a Yellow Jackets sort of deck.
Exactly.
Well, then that'll be interesting. Yeah. Making News, of course, has 2 recurring credits that they can use on traces every turn, while Gabe gains 2 credits the first time they make a run on HQ every turn. And starting off with those sweeps week, pretty standard for NBN. So this is Aaron's deck. So what is the idea here behind this Making News deck?
It's mostly, it's taxing. I made a couple changes. I went up to 3 toll booths in the deck, and you actually build remotes. You're not afraid to lay out the empty sands because that will they have to run it and trash it, so they can't let you get the Astro train running.
Sure.
It's got also the capability to build a remote. It runs Ashes and may even try and score a couple 3-point Beals. It runs a lot of operation economy to try and,
Gotcha.
It doesn't have as many liabilities as asset economy. Because this was before Edward Kim came out, of course.
It's true. The latest legal site here is the Source. So no Order in Chaos yet. I'm really excited to bring you our next series of games from our next store championship, but not yet. We are here still, I think, the week before Order in Chaos came out.
Yes.
So we got some ice up on Centrals, and looks like at this moment we're just playing a bit of the Econ game. Not raising that R&D ice. He's gotten some free runs on R&D so far.
Yeah.
Not seen anything yet.
I'm too used to Glacier and just trusting my R&D to not give up the points. I do have an NAPD in hand, it looks like.
I see that. Somewhat safe, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. As the runner, I'm always thinking, where are the agendas? And the fact that you've put 2 ice in front of HQ as the runner makes me think, oh, there's probably agendas in HQ.
Right. I mean, also, here I put 2 ice in front of HQ because I wanted to stop him from getting his money
Fair
as
enough.
Gabe, and then I also wanted to try and prevent the account siphon later on.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Account siphon with Gabe is brutal.
Yes.
Just because they get the extra 2. Like, even if you only have 4 credits, then they get the normal 10 off of it.
Yeah.
And then you also have to watch out for Sneak Door.
Right.
That Archives is open.
Yeah.
And tempting, I'm sure.
Yeah. He's making good use out of security testing here on the archives. And I'm just looking for ice to actually shut it down, but I want to try and lock up my other centrals first.
Mm-hmm. It looks like Corroder is going to be the order of the day here at this point.
Yeah, it's looking pretty nice right now.
Yeah. Oh,
No, there it
speaking
is.
of the devil. Yeah, I mean, security testing, great card out of Honor and Profit. It's one of the most played cards, I think, out of Honor and Profit. It really helped, I think, turn around. Well, not really turn around Criminal, but make their economy even better.
Yeah. Just what they needed at that point.
Now, of course, the most common criminal runner you see these days is Andy. But it's fun to see Gabe, a nice old throwback. And, I mean, he's still good. He's a blue identity, therefore he's still really good.
Yes. And if you can get into HQ, 2 credits a turn is not a joke.
Absolutely. So it feels like things are going a little bit slow here. What are you searching for at this point?
I'm looking for ice or anything like a sand, anything basically to pressure him in any way. Because right now I know my hand is like a Beal and NAPD and some other stuff I'm not too concerned about.
I think I saw a Jackson in there too.
Maybe. I'm probably at this point. I mean, I think I probably drew like first or second click, and I wanted to get a full turn out of Jackson Howard, so.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And it's always, if you already have a couple agendas in hand, it's kind of scary spending a whole turn drawing up with Jackson.
Right.
Because you want to overflood still your hand and archives.
Yeah.
Special order for a fairy. Now I wonder what kind of sentries you'd be afraid of against NBN. I guess Data Raven maybe, especially if you're playing a tagging deck. But then again, that doesn't prevent you from taking a tag.
Right. But it'll still help beat the trash if you decide to go on. And, oh, he finds the Jackson instead of the agenda, so guess I can be okay with that. Yeah, as you see, I also have an Ichi in the deck. So
There we go. That was a Data Raven that's
Yeah.
going over
Archives.
Archives.
Yeah. Try and
So
prevent
start
those security testing runs.
Looks like you just drew another NAPD too.
Right.
So this is still running Sansan though, so there's plenty of fast advance. What kinds of cards in the deck abuse the trace mechanic, or that benefit from that? You mentioned Ash.
Yes, I have Ash. I have a single Viper, 2 Dracos.
And the Ichi. You
Yeah.
said.
Oh, and Shinobi. That one.
Ooh.
I forgot about that. That's kind of the spicy.
Yeah, I mean, you say this is Aaron's deck.
Right.
In my mind, Shinobi is the signature Aaron card.
Yes, he's killed me many times with it when he was playing this deck, but I, spoiler alert, did not see it all day long. So
That's too bad.
yeah,
Looks like he does face check that Data Raven, and I think he did bounce. He didn't take the tag.
yeah, not worth it to only gain 2 credits and then have to clear the tag.
Hitting HQ the old-fashioned way.
Yeah,
Eli.
yeah. With 3 agendas in hand, I think it's.
I think he has 2 clicks left. I think first click was Archives, second
Right.
click was HQ. So he could get in, get his $2. Or he could, spend 4 to get through.
Right.
It's always painful, though.
Yeah, Eli's never fun. And looking at his hand, he's got.
Oh, looks like he clicks through.
Yeah. He's got an emergency shutdown in hand, and it looked like he even had an account siphon. So I think he was. Yeah.
Snipes an NAPD, which I guess since there were 2 in there wasn't
Yeah.
a terribly uncommon thing to happen. And there's the Sansan you just draw.
Right.
True.
And I put an interns in this deck. That's something he didn't run, and I loved it all day. It's just you don't protect the Sansans early. They still have to pay 5 to trash it. Later on, after you've built your remote, you can just bring it right back, and they have to run it and get in there and trash it again.
It's always so kind of disheartening when they spend all that energy to run the Sansan, trash it, and 2 clicks later it's back.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun. What's even better is if you can license acquisition it back.
Oh, then it's res. You don't. Yeah.
You didn't even pay for it.
Exactly.
Well, you paid 3 for the license acquisition, but
Yeah, you still got a point out of it.
yeah.
I've never seen that play done before.
What, license acquisition on Sansan?
I'm just kidding. That's something you would do.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time with like city surveillance and dedicated response team in my NEH deck, but that's a different NBN that we're watching now.
Yes.
Icing up Centrals even more.
Yes. I just want to, hopefully he'll run out of steam soon and I can finally get a remote going and score points.
I mean, ever since he iced up Archives, that has certainly slowed down the security testing pressure.
Right.
And his economy has kind of ground to a halt at this point.
Yeah, 2 clicks and a credit to get into HQ right now with just what I have res, or 5 credits. It's not worth, if you're only getting 2 credits back, it's a lot harder to stomach that.
And you're using that tag token to mark where security testing is. It's
Yes.
very helpful for us viewers.
Yeah, I knew I was under the camera, so
Yes.
I had to.
Thank you.
Had to make it look nice.
It's awesome. Super duper. I always like it when players make it easy for me to watch it afterwards. Make their credits nice and easy to read.
Yeah. It looks like Aaron's got some interesting cards in there. I see a quality time and a night.
A knight and interesting in
Yeah.
a Gabe deck. That's not something you see. Maybe it's specifically for Tollbooth?
I think it's just if he finds it early, it's good to, land a quick account siphon on a single.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Or a wraparound, I guess, also works too.
Yeah.
And hits the Ichi. This is click 1.
Yes. But he has fairy up. It's not the end of the world for him. Yeah, it looks like he'll fairy through.
Fair enough.
Yeah, clicks. And then.
Nice and economical.
Yes.
Gets those $2 back.
What does he find here? Oh, it's the ash.
He's at 4 credits now. Does he trash it and go down to 1 credit? Because I think he has gotten his Gabe money back by now.
Yes, he has.
Yeah. It shuts down to Ichi. Nice.
Yeah, he elects not to trash it because, well, I don't even have a remote built at all, so not terrible for him to, just leave it there, wait for me to actually build a remote. Right now he's on 4 credits. It's not too much.
So you said you were looking for ice so that you could build a remote, but it looks like you spent all your ice on centrals instead.
Right. It changed from trying to, get a remote going. Since he sniped the NAPD, I still have 2 agendas in hand, but I don't think he's going to be running HQ too often. So I'm hoping that, he'll eventually just still try and run him out of steam and then get the remote built.
Fair enough. I mean, he is at 1 credit right now.
Right.
And I don't really see any econ cards in his hand. I think that is an inside job, which is sort of an econ card in the sense that you can break any ice for 2 credits, sort of. That's the way I think about it.
I think I saw a bank job too. So
oh yeah,
it's good that I haven't built the remote yet.
Bank job, another classic core card.
Yeah.
Now, since Aaron got, he just takes 2 credits. Since Aaron got 2nd place at the last tournament, so he got the playmat. I mean, he didn't get the regional buy, but he got the playmat, right? That's what you really want. Yeah. Well, that's what I really want.
Yeah, it's certainly it's a nice playmat. I like it.
So I think going into this tournament, he decided to bring some kind of fun, interesting decks that with IDs that you don't see a lot of times.
Yeah. So I drew a 3rd agenda here. I think I drew an Astro script. So I'm actually going to interns the Jackson Howard, and of course I draw yet another agenda off the Jackson Howard draw. So what can you do?
But you also drew a Sand, it looks like.
Yes. And it looks like I got rid of either. Oh, okay, I got rid of 2 cards. Okay, so it still flushed my hand of most of the agendas, so I'm okay with that. Getting Jackson Howard back on.
Now here's an interesting situation because okay, he wants to security testing the Jackson, but you can deny it by popping Jackson.
Right. I mean, it's still the obvious server, I think, to put it on because. Right. You just still don't want to take a tag from archive, so it's like if you're not going to get in any server.
I mean, you're probably going to end up running Jackson anyway.
Yes.
Just to make you pop it.
Right.
I think that's a fair assessment. But still, I mean, sitting at 3 credits, you need money at this point, even if it's just to trash a Sansan.
Yes.
Well, now what might be fun is a sneak door and just eat a tag and just consider yourself tagged.
I was very worried about sneak door throughout this game, but he still hasn't found it yet, so I'm thankful for that. Especially with, luckily he couldn't play that HQ interface, but yeah, if you can play an HQ interface in sneak door, 2 cards every run, especially if all you're doing is getting tagged and you don't care about tags, that's fine.
Now, if you trace ice and you're also running ash, but are you running any other tag punishment like scorch or closed accounts?
I run a single closed accounts, which is in my hand right now.
Okay.
So, yeah, he does run the Jackson. I do use him to get a lot of stuff back. Leave a face down, which I think is a piece of ice. I don't remember which piece of ice. But, yeah, go ahead and put back the 2 agendas. Jackson Howard saving us from our floods.
Bless you, Jackson.
Yeah.
Saving a corpse since 2013. So no Scorch in this Making News deck, which is, I think a lot of people, when they think Making News, they think tags and therefore Scorch.
Right. But really, I'm playing, well, I don't have Biotic Labor, but it is a lot of Haas Bioroid influence in this deck. I think it's 12 out of the other 3 is the Shinobi. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't used my recurring credits yet, which is kind of worrying, I guess, but...
You want to be making use out of your ability.
Yeah.
And we do see the Siphon.
Right.
We know that is an Ichi, which you can get through with Fairy.
Right.
And you're at 10. It would be 5 to res.
Right. I'm not going to res because I put a Sansan down in the remote.
Fair enough.
I would rather res the Sansan than, force him to get rid of a Fairy.
Now, okay, so he double-clicks through the Eli, which means he's not going to be able to shake both tags.
Right. Yeah.
And you said you have the closed accounts in hand, which
Right.
is kind of hilarious because you're about to remove all of those monies.
Yeah. So I was glad he took the money because I'm okay with us both being poor when I have a red Sansan
Fair
on the
enough.
board.
Yeah, that's right. You res the Sansan and went
Yeah.
down to 4, but he still got 10 because he's
Yeah.
Gabe.
Yes.
So at this point, is he going to consider himself permanently tagged, or is he going to shake one and then shake the other one later? What would you do in this situation, you think?
If I'm Gabe here, having double-clicked the Eli, I think I'm just going to be permanently tagged. Especially because he knows my deck. He knows the only threat is closed accounts. So, yeah, he's going to security test on the Sansan. Which he forgot about, yeah.
I think yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He was security testing. He
Yeah.
wanted to trash the Sansan, but oh well, he gets money, which he's about to lose,
Yeah.
but oh well. But now that he's permanently tagged, Data Raven is disabled.
Useless, yes.
Yeah.
Also, I make a mistake here. I have the Astro script in hand, and once I close his accounts, he can't trash the Sansan, and he can't play a sneak door and use it on that turn. And I need to score the Astro script, but I drew a card instead of taking 2 credits, so now I'm a credit short. But luckily, he accidentally goes through the pop-up window for security testing as opposed to going to archives. Because now that he's permanently tagged, it would have been better to go to archives, and who cares? Data Raven's not doing anything anymore.
I never know really how to treat pop-up window on the runner's side. A lot of times I'm happy to see it because I'm like, great, that's just a credit to get through.
Yeah.
But then it's a 2-credit swing because you gain one and I lose one.
Right, and
It's
also
deceptive.
it's very dependent on the board state too. If they have if the corporation has a lot of credits, it's not as bad, especially if you have say Yogg on
Sure.
the table. Yeah, here he runs through with security testing, which is no better than gaining. Well, he wanted to play bank job. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, if it was just security testing, that would be not so great because he's basically clicking for a credit while letting me gain a credit.
Sure.
But
And there's the Astro.
yes, always good to see the Astro script. Even though this deck isn't with biotic labors and whatnot, it still relies on the Astro Train threat.
I mean, you're playing NVN. When are you not going to use Astro?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Bank Job brought him back up out of the
Right.
depths of 0 credits, so he
Exactly.
can trash that Sansan now. He's going to security test it, though.
Yeah, and again, it should be on archives. It's letting me gain credits at this point is not great.
Yeah, because, you just need 2 credits to score out another Astro, basically.
Right.
Of course, I expect him to go and hit the Sansan again.
I would too.
Though, since he security tested on it, maybe... I wonder if he's just missing the fact that Archives is blank right now. Maybe he doesn't want to remind you that it's so open so that he can sneak door later.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. Oh, instead he goes HQ here, which... Oh, the sticky sleeve problem.
Those Greyjoys.
Yes.
Other Sansan.
No, that's never good to see. And you're not going to trash that one. You have
No.
to get the one that's rezzed off the board first.
Of course, do you want to... as soon as you trash the one on the board, then they're just going to put another one down.
Exactly. It's
Sort of the depressing situation.
it's not a fun situation to be in as the runner. Sansan's a very, very good card.
Agreed. Well, 10 credits now for Aaron, and he's not really... where are the agendas at this point? I think I see a breaking news in hand.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any R&D pressure out from him, really.
Right. He's, do have 3 pieces of ice, but I have 2 credits. The Wall of Static is only 2 credits for him.
And he does put the security testing on Archives this time.
Right.
Well, you did ice up Sansan even more.
Yes, but I have 2 credits, so... And, still not even able to use my recurring credits because this trace is kind of a moot point.
Sure, yeah, exactly. He's not going to pay to...
Yeah. He's gone full tag me mode at this point. Again, going to HQ. I think he's... This is a weird line, in my opinion. The only agenda, really, that I would hold in hand, well, I guess besides the breaking news, would be an NAPD. If I drew a Beal, I'd be scoring it off the Sansan, especially, obviously, an Astro script. So I think I would like to see the R&D pressure here slightly more.
I suppose whenever you're threatening an Astro score, you typically don't want to run on HQ unless they clicked to draw at some point during their turn. Because if they mandatory draw, then they're just immediately going to score that Astro if that's what they drew.
Right. I might have been clicking to draw the previous turns. Again,
there's
there
right
it is,
there.
yeah. And of course it's the Astro script, so a little bit of a pickle here. But I go up to 5 cards in hand. He hasn't legworked me yet. No sneak door has appeared, so I'm okay with it. It's still pretty expensive for him to get in.
Now, the only code gate we've seen so far is pop-up. I guess you said you do have toll booths, but
yes,
he hasn't had to worry about getting a decoder out yet.
Right, and I do have a Viper on the remote, but again, that's a trace thing, so if you can beat the trace. Yep, still getting all that money from Data Raven.
Yeah, and so did Aaron know at this point that this is his deck?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I told him before the tournament that I was going to be running his deck and discussed a couple of the changes with him. I don't know if he ran any Wall of Statics. I like that card a lot currently. Okay, he's going to actually check art. Oh, no, he's going R&D. Okay.
Ah. Another pop-up.
Unfortunately, the turn after I draw the Astro script is when he stops hitting art HQ. But, how can you know?
Green level clearance is an interesting include, I think.
Yeah,
interesting way to spend influence.
Yeah, it's really good. If you're at a low level of economy, it gets you money and a card draw, which is, with this deck, you never want to say no to a new card.
Sure, it's kind of like a makeup for maybe not being NEH in a sense.
Yeah. Of course, I would like the 2 extra influence, especially at this point when I haven't used my identity at all, which is kind of saddening.
Fair enough. Ooh, see an indexing. That could be fun. Do you know what that last ice is on R&D?
I do not remember. It might be a Draco.
Okay.
Yes, it's a Draco. I remember at one point he does. I do have a choice to res it, so I do remember it. And yeah, here's the second Astro. This is just not good.
Double Astro counter.
Yeah, this is interesting as well because now I can lay a Beal out by itself and win the next turn by advancing it 3 times and double Astro counter.
Or even NAPD.
Yeah. Well, NAPD doesn't quite win
not by itself, but at least.
Yeah, I can still score it out of hand, which is scary.
With Sansan, yeah. Oh, here
comes the indexing. So I think here, because, as I said, it is a Draco, I'm going to let him, he's pretty low on money. It's going to cost him, 3 more credits. He'll be down to 1 credit. And if he comes back in for an agenda, I'll res the Draco and kick him out with that. Because he'll be down to 1 credit when he reaches the Draco. And that will let me see the agenda and score it off the Sansan, as opposed to him getting to steal it. But it looks rather not agenda-laden.
Yeah, he sees the NAPD and a breaking news,
it looks like,
which are the 2 agendas you don't want to see.
Right.
I mean, breaking news, it's a point.
Yeah.
And NAPD, it's 2 points. We have to pay for it, which you're not going to be able to do if you go back in with only 4 credits.
Right.
It looked like he put those agendas just at the bottom and tried to basically
keep track of them.
Also, just give himself time. He knows that you're going to have to draw up. That gives him a few turns to maybe build back up on economy, build his rig a bit more if he needs to.
Right. And he had been hitting my hand enough to know that I probably do not have agendas in my HQ at this point.
I wonder if he packs any R&D multi-axis. I did see an HQ interface get discarded, but R&D interface is not uncommon in criminal decks these days.
Yeah, especially if you get use out of Sneak Door. It's really just... It can be better than legwork in that instance. Because
sure,
the constant seeing of 2 is also a really big threat.
Well, specifically for R&D, though, if he's going to be pressuring R&D.
He's going to be pressuring R&D. I don't know if he has the influence for anything besides an indexing, but yeah, that might have been an Ash on the remote. I'm not sure.
My guess was going to be Jackson because I mean it's obviously not an agenda, or else he would have scored it.
Yes, yeah, actually, yeah, Jackson does make sense here because he did indexing. I'm trying to prevent him from, you know, if there were agendas and he was afraid of not being able to get back in, because the start of his turn he gets 2 credits for a click on Data Raven.
I mean, at this point, did he just stop even keeping track of the power counters on Data Raven? I think?
Yeah, he's got like at least 7 tags. Yeah. I don't play psychographics. Oh, there's finally a Desperado.
Ooh,
that would have been so helpful for him several turns ago.
I guess the other advantage to playing that Jackson on the Sansan is that you're going to be able to dig up some more for those agendas that you're, I guess at this point, that's all you're waiting for is the agendas.
Yeah, and he's going to inside job HQ. Maybe he kept track of where an agenda was, but I don't see any in hand, so.
And it's true, Jackson is going to get you through indexing even faster.
Yes.
Well, at this point, it almost just feels like a waiting game of you being able to draw up the agendas you need.
Right.
And maybe Aaron's going to be able to intercept them before we can get them. Yeah. But
here I probably should have just been drawing with Jackson. I have a Res Sansan and 2 Astro counters, but I knew I drew a restructure, and I think I'm looking to play that. But I think I'm just trying to like absolutely prevent any like siphon play here. I put a toll booth on HQ. I want to be able to res it. And, like, so long as I can do that, I should be cruising to victory here.
And he does have the siphon in hand.
Oh, okay. I did not get to see that. But, yeah, that would hurt right now. Oh, he's going to go for it. Okay, it makes sense.
So do you res the toll booth for almost all of your money at this point?
I think I'm in an okay spot here to do it. Now it's more about him not having money than me having money, I guess. So with 2 AstroScript counters, it cost me basically 2 to score any agenda. So as long as I have that, I'm okay. But I don't want him to be able to trash, you know, this Sansan, trash the next Sansan I lay down. So I'll just stop the run right there.
Fair enough.
Especially because it makes him lose 3 credits. That's a fine trade for me.
I wonder if he'll bother installing the Desperados late in the game. I mean, he'll still get some extra credit on his Archives Data Raven runs.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on him right now, though, because he's got to hit big on R&D, and he knows that there's nothing coming for at least another 2 clicks. Is that another siphon he just drew?
I think it's a forged activation orders.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Oh yeah, he's going to forge the Draco here, and not worth resing it and having it at 0 strength.
All the core cards. Fun times.
Yes. Interesting deck.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a Jackson after all, and you didn't use it to draw.
I'm not quite sure what I'm thinking here, but putting a lot of money back, putting in the closed accounts, just to threaten him a little. But he's not going to be clearing those tags, so it's just a convenience draw, I guess.
I mean, that R&D is looking pretty skinny. It's got to be chock full of agendas at this point.
Yeah. I have a breaking news and an APD in hand now. So yeah, there are at least
3 Beals and an Astro.
Yeah, and another NAPD somewhere in there. So yeah, it's full of stuff. That's scary, but.
And it only costs him 3 to get in.
Yeah, this is an interesting choice here.
Okay.
Oh,
because you said you have the breaking news in hand.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was worth using both Astro counters there.
You think maybe you should have just scored out the breaking news so that the NAPD could be next turn?
Yeah, I think that would have been better.
In case he pulled the breaking news out of hand.
Yeah, like install breaking news, advance it, score it, click for the credit back, and then I still have 2 credits to score the NAPD from anywhere. Yeah,
I've definitely been burned before where I use up all of my remaining Astro counters to get myself to 6, and then I can't score that last point because the point that I thought I was going to score, they stole from me.
Yeah. It's like, oh, the 1 in 5 breaking news from hand shot, and it just goes wrong. Oh, a parasite. Okay.
Hate that pop-up.
Yeah.
No money for you.
I am on 1 credit.
But that's all you need for breaking news.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's an NAPD, but
He can't steal it, but I can't score it either. But yeah, there's the breaking news. It was kind of disappointing for him. He hit HQ enough early on to know that I probably didn't have agendas, but he just kept missing the breaking news. So it seemed right to go for an R&D hold there on his part.
Well, it was fun to see Gabe in action. And, yeah, great game between the two of you. I'm looking forward to seeing your next game. And, yeah, we'll be back with the second game between Ross and Aaron coming up soon. Ross, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
All right, sounds good.